Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. My name is Charlotte. I'm a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures, and very often they are celebrities or they're royals. But today I'll be looking at the synastry chart of a couple that is now more infamous than they ever were famous. And they are American footballer O.J. Simpson and his ex-wife Nicole Simpson Brown. So, in case you don't know, Nicole Simpson Brown was brutally murdered along with her friend. And OJ stood trial for the murders. He was acquitted in the criminal case, but he lost the civil case and he had to pay out the families of Nicole and her friend. It was very clear to me after I put out two separate readings for both of them that OJ still has his fans. He still has people that believe him to be a wonderful, upstanding human being that never did anything wrong in his life. Like, it's very clear. And yeah, it's some of the comments that were made on that video, they got really personal. Like I deleted them. Like they were racist comments as well. People making assumptions about my background, making comments that I believe him to be guilty because I have some kind of racial prejudice against O.J. Simpson. You know what? Take it up with my Polynesian ancestors because they were pretty pissed off with some of those comments. Wild. It's insane. Some people are insane. If you're going to make those kinds of comments in my comment section, they're going to get deleted and then you will be blocked. Like, you don't have to be here. Get out of my classroom. There's a reason why I left the profession that my previous profession, and it's because of disrespect like that, and I'm not going to be putting up with it. You will be blocked and you will have your comment deleted. And that's the compassionate thing to do. Anyway, today I want to have a look at their synastry, what made them fall. I want to know what made them fall in love, what was their chemistry like, and what were their challenges as a couple. They were together for quite a long time, like 10, 15 years or something like that. He met her when she was about 17 or 18 years old. She was like a teenager, and I think he was on the cusp of 30, or he would have been in his early 30s. So already you can see there's some shifty shit going on there with a very young teenage girl and an older man. And didn't he cheat on his wife with her? Didn't he like he was unfaithful to his first wife whom he had children with? Like, the man was not the best. even without the murders, like, the guy wasn't a great husband either. So anyway, before I dive in, I just want you guys to know I've opened up dates in June for my sale. So they fill up really fast. The last one that sold out really quickly for May. Opening up June. There are fewer days in June than there were in May, but I'm going to extend the offer. Please book it now if you enjoy these and you want to support me. After this sale, I'm going to be putting up the prices, and I'll be focusing more on my my YouTube side, being more of a creative, because doing readings, as much as I've been doing, as much as I do love them, they are energetically draining. People with issues come to me, which is great. I'm so great that people come to me for these readings, but they are very energetically draining and it's not sustainable. And I'm looking to run a business that is sustainable. So please hop on the deal now. Do it now, because I'm not going to be doing it again after this. All right, let's dive in to this synastry chart. So we can see here that OJ is in the blue. So he's all the blue planets. So he is a Cancer sun with a Pisces moon, and his rising is in Leo. And then she is a Taurus sun with a Libra moon and a Pisces rising. Okay, so that is their synastry chart. I will return to that at the end of this, just to see if there's anything that I've missed. But let's scroll down and look at the first bit. So my first part of this video is called Sacrificed on a Doorstep, because that's literally what happened to her. Nicole's Libra moon and North Node conjunct O.J. Simpson's Neptune. So this is it. Nicole's North Node lies in Libra, indicating that her destiny was to work in partnership with others and to even be in a loving partnership, like be married, cooperation, that kind of thing. Now, how she does this is through growing a family, because the North Node lies in a conjunction with the Moon, which governs the domestic sphere, right? The bedroom, the kitchen. So working in partnership, making a family, being a housewife, a homemaker. And it's through that she realizes her genius. Pallas Athena is creative and strategic genius. I'm wondering if she had, because I don't know much about her. There's a new documentary that's going to come out soon. I'm really excited to see it, because I really want to know who this woman was. It's through partnership, through marriage, through having a family that she finds her creative and strategic genius. So I'm not sure if she was was she kind of like what Kris Jenner did? Like, was she kind of like Kris Jenner in that she like had like a little home business or something? I'm wondering if she did any of that, because as far as I'm aware, she was a homemaker. But it's through being a homemaker and a wife that she found some kind of creative oomph. She does also have Juno here. Juno's in retrograde. They're both in retrograde, but Juno's in retrograde, which could indicate like a disappointing union. But yeah, ultimately her destiny was to become a mother and to be in a partnership and to be married. Even if it meant that the marriage was disappointing, that was what she was meant to do. Where this gets really dark is that there is a malefic. There is a Neptune. And what does Neptune represent? A lot of things. Heaven and hell, fantasy, delusion. It's crazy. It's literally like a crazy planet. It's a generational planet. It's a difficult planet. It's a malefic planet. And to have this malefic planet on her moon, on her north node, on her asteroids, there is like a lack of stability here. There is loss, there is sacrifice, even though she gains a lot, because this is a north node in Libra with this cluster here. That is, and there's also a part of fortune. So there's an accumulation of wealth. There is a loving family. There's all these nice things, but think of her north node and the moon as the house, the doorstep. And think of OJ's Neptune on it as the sacrifice. Sacrificed on the doorstep. He took her to her destiny in more ways than one. It's very, very scary. I have recently had clients, and I've been looking at a lot of murderers' charts lately, just because I'm going through a bit of a true crime spiral right now with my content consumption, and I can't help but look at the astrological charts of murderers. And I've noticed that a lot of murderers and their victims, they often have, not all the time, but very often have a conjunction with a nodal conjunction where there's a malefic sitting on the north node. This is one of those examples. I've seen other ones with Mars on someone's north node, and like the murderer has their Mars on the other person's north node. I've seen that a lot too. Now, just because someone has a malefic placement on your north node, it doesn't mean they're going to kill you. Very often they can be the one that, motivates you or pushes you into achieving that thing that you have to do. But sometimes it can go left. Sometimes it can be morbid. Sometimes it's not that good. And this is one of those examples right here. So I'm just putting it out there. She was a lovely person, Libra moon. She just wanted, listen, I'm a Libra moon. You know what we want? We'll have a nice house, nice curtains, nice clothes, pets, jewelry, pretty art on the walls. Libra, just keep it cute. I just want to have a nice, luxurious house and a really pleasant life. My home should be peace. My home has to be peaceful as a Libra moon. That's what all she ever wanted, truly. I'm wondering if there might have been an aversion to working a 9 to 5. I feel like if she had lived a little bit longer, she would have gone into something that was creative. That's what I see. Let's move down. Drowning in abundance. So they were like 11 or 12 years apart in age, 13 years, something like that. There was considering how young she was when they got together, yeah, they had a really large age difference. So that's why their Jupiters are together here. They both have a Jupiter in Scorpio. It plays out in his fourth house of the home. So they have a big family, or they have a lot of children. There's a lot of love. Her Jupiter's retrograde and her Juno, because did you remember how I said that her Juno was retrograde? That's like a disappointing like marriage contract, because that's what Juno represents, is the contract. Jupiter, which is the wedding and the marriage, right? The marriage itself, that's also disappointing, and getting married to a disappointing husband. I think he also has a retrograde here. Is that R covered up with that black line? Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of abundance. I think there was a lot of love, but remember, Jupiter expands anywhere it touches, and sometimes the thing that it expands could be dangerous. And Scorpio is it's a malefic sign because it's governed by malefic planets. Neptune, that Neptune I talked about, her Neptune is here as well. So a lot of passion, but there's no boundaries here. There's no structure here. If you have a Neptune in a 4th house, or someone's Neptune is playing into your 4th house, there is a lack of stability. There is a lack of structure, and there could be fighting, or there could be abuse. There could be abuse of, abuse of the children, or abuse of drugs, or it could play out in so many different ways. I'm not sure if there was drugs in the house. I don't know. I don't think so. But this is very wounded, especially with Chiron. He has a wound with women, or he has a wound of the home. Someone said in the comments that OJ had a homosexual father. I haven't looked into that, but yeah, there's a wound around marriage and the home and the mother and the family. There's a wound around that. And being with Nicole exacerbates that problem, it perpetuates whatever insecurities he has around his masculinity and his role as a father. Like, I reckon he blamed her a lot for his failings as a man or as a father. Like, it was all on her. Because her Neptune here, she's the one that's going to get blamed. She's the one that's going to get sacrificed. She didn't do anything intentionally, I don't think, to make him feel that way. This is very much situational and his insecurities. And remember, the Neptune person is going to get projected on. So whatever he's failed at, it's her failure, not his. This didn't work out because of her. That's what I'm seeing here. Neptune is like a mirror. Any kind of water planet, water sign, and conjunctions, that water is going to be a mirror. So yeah, she is that. She's his mirror. And sometimes people don't like the way they look in the mirror, and they smash the mirror. Instead of fixing themselves, they smash the mirror. And he smashed the mirror. So also, just look at this. Her midheaven's in Sagittarius. As far as I know, she didn't really have a career. Maybe she had some home business or something. But his Juno, which represents marriage, is on her midheaven. So when they're together, what's her job? If she wasn't with him, it would be completely different. I feel like she might have gone into, like, I don't know, but some kind of writing or teaching or travel or something like that. She would have done something adventurous or intellectual potentially. But being with him, his asteroid of marriage sits on her midheaven. You work for me. You work in my house. You're my wife. So that makes a lot of sense here. Yeah. Let's move down. Dirty little secrets. Nicole's Pisces ascendant and OJ's 8th house Pisces moon. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, her ascendant, which basically I see the ascendant as your face. It's the first layer of you. It's your personality, right? And that is playing out it's in the 7th house. It plays out in the 8th house, they're both intimate houses. So the way she looks physically, that taps into that 8th house. So there is sexual attraction. Like, he likes her face, basically. Also, with the moon in the same sign as her ascendant, he likely projects a lot of his own desires and his intimate needs onto her. So that's there, and it is a water sign. There's a water sign here, water planet here. Also, being with her activated his genius, because he's got Pallas Athena, the creative strategic genius. That is with the ascendant. I don't want to say it's a conjunction, but they are all together here. Being with her was very good for him. Very, very good. nurtured, he was taken care of sexually, he was able to focus on his career. Like, and I think she saw the worst sides of him. I think, you know, she was one of the things, and I say things, she was one of the things he loved the most. That's why he abused her. Because people that love you the most, people that love you the most, they're going to treat you badly. Like, very often they will treat you badly. Like, they'll show you their true colors because you have to be with them for the rest of your life. You're never going to leave. There is no boundary there. And certainly with Pisces energy, there is no fucking boundary. So, and this could also be quite triggering. Again, it's a placement where he could be projecting his own shit onto her. Pisces risings have a hard time, and water risings in general, because a water rising, it acts like that mirror, like frozen water. I'm a Scorpio rising. I get this a lot. People project a lot of their shit onto me. Ugh. No, not easy at all. And also with her being a Pisces rising, there can be a bit of a, like, I want to please you, I want to help you, I want to heal you. It's a giver. That's a caring, giving person. And then she has her Chiron and his descendant. She didn't have, let me just go up here. She didn't have any Aquarius placements. So in a way, she wasn't his ideal partner, because he, ideal doesn't always have to. By the way, if you have a really good relationship, or you have a relationship and that person doesn't have any planets in your 7th house or on your descendant, don't freak out, please. It's not like a hardcore requirement. It's just nice to have. But yeah, she doesn't have any placements in Aquarius other than that Chiron. The wound is on his descendant, so he triggers her wounds. What's the wound? It looks like it was in the, I think it's in, it would be, oh, that's her 12th house. That's her 12th house. Again, like, no boundaries here. I can treat you, I can give you heaven, but I can give you hell. His descendant, his 7th house of partnership is in Aquarius, right? Which is it's a very practical house. And so that playing out in her 12th house, he could treat her any way he wanted to. That's scary. That's so scary. Let's move on. Disgracing Hercules. So Nicole's Taurus Sun, Mercury, and Lilith conjunct in OJ's midheaven. I think he was scared that she was going to ruin his reputation, because she had all the informations. Now, with Lilith on the midheaven, you see this with Meghan and Harry. They have each other's Liliths on each other's midheavens. When a woman has her Lilith on a man's midheaven, they have the potential to disgrace them and make them look weak. And I'm wondering if that was an insecurity he had. Like, if she were to talk about their relationship, like, her Mercury's here too. I think he might have been worried that she was talking to people about his behavior towards her, and that she had the power to actually disgrace him or put him in jail, or her having Lilith on her Sun and Mercury. I always say this when I see Lilith in your personal placement. I'm just like, something to watch out for. People with Lilith on their Sun or their Moon or their Mercury or Venus, or not so much Mars, but the other personal planets, they can find themselves in really, really difficult relationships. Like, think about Lilith and what she represents in Jewish mythology. Like, that is the destructive wife, or the angry wife, the vengeful wife. I'm not saying that's necessarily who she was, but I'm wondering if that could have built up over time. Like, maybe 10 years down the track, 20 years down the track, she could have written a book about it or something. Because this is a person that can build up a lot of resentment. But this is also a person that can fall prey to nasty men. I mean, think about what Lilith is so misunderstood. She was fine. She should have just been respected. She just should have just been treated well. And then she wouldn't have been so destructive. So I do believe she was abused, or she was also attracted to relationships where She could be abused. I think I mentioned in my last video about her dad. I don't know. Apparently they had a very loving dad, but I think there's something else there. Because if you have a healthy relationship with your father, you don't marry OJ Simpson. If you have a healthy relationship with your dad, you're not going to be putting up with bitches like OJ Simpson. You just don't. You just don't. But yeah, I do think that he was worried about her talking, and I do think she would have. I think she was already doing it in private. Kris Jenner knows for sure. His north node is with Mars. Oh, the planet of war and anger and killing, because Mars is a weapon, lies in a conjunction with his north node of destiny. Really? What was his destiny? Ah! And her sun is here. She brings him to his destiny. They both do that for each other. For him, there's much more glory involved. It's through her that he gets attention, that he gets praise, that he gets victory. He's the victor. And she is the sacrifice on the doorstep. This is having someone's sun on your north node is nice, because they're gonna light up the path for you to achieve things, to achieve your destiny. He had his, and we saw that earlier, his Neptune on her north node, and yeah, he took her to her destiny too, and then some. Sacrifice on the doorstep. Much more painful on her part. So they bring each other to each other's destinies. One is more painful and sacrificial, and one is much more like glamorous and glorified and violent. Romantic alignment, Cancer conjunctions. They both have a Venus in Cancer, so they are both people that really crave or value family and having a really nice domestic life. I like a Venus in Cancer. I have a Venus in Taurus, so when I see Venus in Cancers, I'm like, yes, you understand. And they can also, because they're a water sign, they can love without a boundary. Not as badly as an exalted Pisces Venus, but they do love without boundary. And certainly this relationship lacked a lot of that. I think she found him incredibly sexually attractive. Her Mars lies in a conjunction with his Sun and Mercury. So, I mean, Mars is the phallus. That's her penis. And her Venus is here, not far away. So sex and love are very intertwined for her. I think if she had sex with someone, she would fall for them. With water placements, especially Cancer and Pisces, actually, they can have sex and they can get very polluted, and they can make really poor, like if they're in love with you, if they sleep with you, they will likely fall in love with you. Water placements get polluted, and she did love him, and I think she was incredibly turned on by him. Like, he was a beautiful man. And that was probably one of the reasons why she stayed. I mean, she got with him when she was 17 or 18 years old. So, yes, stigmatized, absolutely. That's the stigmatized placement. 1000%. He represented everything she found attractive in a man. His height, his chiseled jaw, he's like just gorgeous to her. Vice versa, actually. They both found each other incredibly attractive. I think that might have been one of the reasons why it was so difficult for them to separate for so long, is maybe that there was such an intense passion. Like, no one made her feel the way he made her feel. Like, no one. And that could have been vice versa. But I do, like, he seems to be a bit of a serial cheater, actually. So, because that Uranus-Venus conjunction, he'll stray. Like, I'll stay with you, but I'm gonna hop the fence. I'm gonna hop the fence sometimes. Yeah, and also he would be a 12th houser. Because that 12th house cusp lies in Cancer, so that Sun and that Mercury are playing into it. So and I said this in his reading, I think he's sneaky. He was sneaky. He's really good at playing victim, and he's really good at looking like a good guy. He garners he's really good at garnering sympathy. Yeah. Scary guy. He's a very scary man. Nightmare a nightmare reality. Nicole's 6th house and OJ's 12th house conjunction. So the 6th house is the everyday house. The 12th house is the lunatic house. They're opposing houses. So that there's, if you look at a chart, the 6th house, which represents routines and bills and exercise, right? Everyday humdrum stuff. It's the Virgo house. That opposes the 12th house, the Pisces house of fantasies and dreams and God. And, you know, the 12th house is where you were before you were born. It's the place you return to when you die. So to have this malefic conjunction here playing out in these two houses is very interesting. His mental instability, whatever form that took, really impacted her 6th house. This is a chaotic sixth house for her. This is an abusive 6th house. This is a very difficult 6th house. No day is the same. If he wasn't in the picture, if I look at this 6th house by itself, I feel like she loved to have an adventure in the everyday. Like if she was a homemaker and her kids were at school, she probably went on all sorts of, you know, shopping adventures, you know, like she loved to go to the mall, or she would go do brunch, or she would it's a very adventurous 6th house. And with Vesta here, it's cute. The Leo is cute. The Uranus, it's difficult. It's a bit chaotic, but it's cute. When she's with him, though, the Pluto and the Saturn, it becomes more restricted. Like, let's just say she wanted to go out shopping. He would be like, well, he would give her a budget. He reined in on her 6th house. If I could take this to a dark place though. Saturn and Pluto in the 12th house. He restricts her and he keeps her trapped. His Pluto in her 6th house. If he's in a bad mood, if he's mentally unstable, or he's got a nasty habit, it's going to turn her 6th house into a cesspool. It was very difficult for her to live with him, like always living in fear, like never knowing if he's going to turn on her. That's very scary. If I look at her chart by itself, it's much more fun. Her 6th house is much more fun. Bit chaotic still, but much more fun. Oh, I just realized her Pluto is on her descendant. Oh, you know what that means? If you've got Pluto in your 7th house, where you transform the most is in relationships, is in partnerships. So it's a very difficult placement unless it's nicely aspected. You can do a lot with that, really grow in those relationships. But yeah, Pluto in the 7th house, they could also destroy you. And you got to they'll transform you. They'll change you into a different person. But with her relationship led to her death. So, okay, so we come to the end of this. This is their whole chart. I'm just having another look at it. I wanted to talk about her IC because I talked about her midheaven, how his Juno is on her midheaven. So her job, especially in the public eye, was to be his wife. That Juno midheaven conjunction for her. And then her IC has her 4th house of the home has his Uranus. Oh yeah, so he really destabilized the household for her. And his Venus is not too far away. So while he provides a lot of material, financial stability, it's not an emotionally stable place. This is not being with him. She cannot rest her head peacefully at all. With this Uranus, no. Ideally, she should be with a Gemini placement, like a Gemini moon or something. Like a Gemini moon or even a Gemini Venus, who knows, would help her anchor into her 4th house and give her a comfortable home, and would allow her to be emotionally available and open and free. But there's Uranus here, and Uranus, it's just chaos. It's like a tornado, like just running through the house. It's a lot. Yikes. Anyway, Guys, thank you for watching. Yeah, I appreciate it. That's all I have for you today. There's a lot going on in this chart. I need a break from this. This is dark and sad. Rest in peace, Nicole. OJ, I hope you found God. That's all I'll say. Thank you so much, guys. Remember, I've got the 50% off and 30% off my readings. Jump on it now. There's 8 to 10 days that are opening up or have opened up in June. Or when I publish this, it will be opened up. So yeah, hop on there if you would like me to have a look at your chart. Bye.